Oh, I can't even believe I feel the need to even make this video. Let's talk about this. Hey everybody, what is going on? Brandon here. This is my second video of the day. I didn't really even intend on doing this video, but something has been blown up way out of proportion and kind of taken the wrong way and then preached the wrong way. So I thought I had to go ahead and do a video about it. Now, recently I unsubscribed and unfollowed somebody on Twitter, another YouTuber, who I really liked, and I liked a lot of the stuff he'd been saying. A lot of his past videos, and then recently over the last couple weeks he's been going kind of down a weird political rabbit hole where he's taking ant hills and turning them into mountains worth of stuff to argue with people about and to make videos about and to blow way out of proportion. And he's sort of doing it here, and he's also going the completely wrong direction with it. So I decided to go ahead and make a video about it. Now, what this pertains to is a tweet that was sent out yesterday by a user, Brandon Sheffield, where he said, Steam needs to do something about review bombing. Here's Chuchel, I probably pronounced that wrong, which changed the color of its character from black to orange on December 23rd. That's when you start seeing people review the game who played for around an hour, bought just to complain / harass the devs, and call them snowflakes. Okay, that seems sort of reasonable, especially if you go and you look and you verify by going through a lot of the negative reviews from around those dates. He is correct. There's quite a few reviews from people that have played under the refund amount of time and reviewed, change the color of the characters back, stupid stuff, which, whether or not they bent to be politically correct or however they did that, that's, it's their game. If they want to do that, that's fine. But the guy isn't actually wrong here. There are quite a few instances, not just with this game, where people will buy a game, bash it in review, and then refund it. So I was a little bit shocked after reading this to see that the user that I had just unfollowed and unsubscribed from had retweeted it, and somebody had shared it to me, that said, he quoted him, "People who bought the game shouldn't be allowed to review the game." And then he went on and made a whole video about it today, where he blew it way out of proportion, like way out of proportion, basically saying that there's a silent majority, or there's a group of people, and he put unquote journalists. I kind of think one of them might have been a jab towards me because I did comment on this, saying that, oh, they're trying to silence people that bought the game. That's okay. No. Here's the thing. I do agree with the fact that there needs to be something done with people or with reviews for things that are under a certain amount of time, especially for games. You can get on the Steam forums and discuss problems you may have with the game. I mean, we've seen it with other games where people that don't even own the game get on to the Steam forums and bash it. I mean, we've seen it with Atlas, we've seen it with Ark, we've seen it with DayZ, we've seen it with No Man's Sky. I mean, we've seen it. People that don't even own the game getting on there and bashing it. But there's a difference between getting on a forum and bashing it, or making a video about it, which I will also get to that point here in a minute, and being mad about something or reporting on something that might have been being done wrong. But a review is an assessment of a product. It's, like I said in one of the past videos I did, you wouldn't buy an electronic device off somebody who's never used it if they just tell you they heard it was good. You wouldn't go eat at a restaurant or not eat at a restaurant because somebody said it was terrible if they've never ate there. I mean, a review is supposed to be an assessment of a product, and a thorough assessment generally. I don't think what this user's trying to say and what I'm saying, that people should spend more than an allotted amount of time on a product before they are allowed to review bomb a game. And one of the arguments against this was, well, Fallout 76, No Man's Sky, we didn't have to play for X amount of time to know it wasn't the product that was promised to us. To a degree, yes, you're right. You don't need to play for a huge amount of time to know if you were being lied to. but to an extent, you do need to play for a little bit longer than 5 minutes. You need to play for longer than a half hour, especially for a big open world game, unless it's a technical issue, like a technical bug that you're having, that doesn't just come down to you did not read the minimum PC requirements. That's another thing. People that buy games, they don't even work on their system because they're running a potato, and they leave a horrible review on the game saying it was poorly optimized. I've seen that happen with a lot of games. It's hilarious when people are running a low-end laptop and they think they're going to be able to run Monster Hunter World on it, then they complain that it's poorly optimized. Stuff like that. That's the kind of stuff I think needs to stop, and I don't think that's taking away a person's voice. I think it's just kind of cutting some of the fat and trimming some of the BS when it comes to game reviews. Because, I mean, let's face it, if the game is that bad, if a game is really that bad, like with everything that's happened with Fallout 76, everything that's happened with No Man's Sky in the past, if a game is going to have these kind of issues, guess what? The problems are going to be made known by people who've took the time to properly play the game through and do a review on it. Your 5 minutes worth of a review is not doing anybody any good, especially when it happens and the game ends up not being bad. You couldn't run it, or it wasn't your cup of tea, or you did just do what this guy's saying a lot of people are doing and bought it just to harass the devs. That does happen. People think that kind of crap doesn't, but it does. So you need to, especially with Steam's refund policy, you could literally buy a game, bash it, get your money back, and that's it. So what this guy's saying is trying to do something about review bombing isn't actually that bad of an idea. It's not trying to silence people like this other YouTuber would have you believe. He's making it seem like, oh, they just want to silence us. Journalists don't want us telling the truth about games, which he's somebody that I've literally caught reviewing a game that he'd never played with the excuse, I didn't need to be in World War II to know that it was bad. You cannot review a game unless you've played it. You can't. And if you've played it for less than a half hour, if you've played it for less than an hour, you do not have an honest assessment of that game. There is no review of Fallout 76 on my channel. There's no review of No Man's Sky on my channel. There's no review of Atlas on my channel because I've not played any of them enough to do a thorough review yet. So when you see people preaching these, we need to come up in arms as gamers, they're trying to silence us. Calm down. Nobody's trying to silence you. I mean, well, okay, maybe people are trying to silence you. But what this guy said and what is being blown way out of proportion is not anybody trying to silence you. It's trying to protect developers from a bunch of review bombs that aren't really contributing to anything other than hurting them as a company. I mean, if you see a bunch of negative reviews on a game, you're less likely to buy, meaning you are hurting people who make games, and that is their job. That is how they make their living. So, yeah, maybe don't take a crap all over a person's life and a person's job and a person's, a game they've worked hard on just because you don't agree with them. Okay, but with all that being said, that's all the time I got for this one. Like I said, this wasn't really scripted. This is the second video I've had to do today, so I am ready to stop for a minute because I've also been helping my grandparents move again today. But that's all the time I got for this one, guys. If you like this video and you want to see more, please do me a favor and click that red subscribe button. And I'll see you guys next time.